my name is Katie Carson. Welcome back to Royalty Soaps. It is birthday month here at Royalty Soaps. My birthday is on July 26th. So this month, I'm doing all the soaps that I personally like for one reason or another. Today's soap is coconut pearl. So, make a long story very short. I really like pearls. I really like opals. I like both of them like much more than I like diamonds. So, got the pearl thing going on. And then for coconut, I don't know. Coconut, pearl, they look sort of similar. Both have sort of that off-white color. And coconut is one of my favorite fragrances in soap and otherwise. But I'm also doing mica lines, which is again one of my favorite things to do in soap. And I really like stark mica lines. Most of the time you achieve that by doing a light colored soap base and then a dark colored mica or activated charcoal. And it just makes a really, really cool effect. So that's what we're doing today. If you aren't following me on Instagram, I have two. One for Royalty Soaps and one for personal stuff. Like, I'm always at a lack for what I would classify personal stuff. I don't know, like, y'all asked me about like this bar necklace. These are from Made by Mary, by the way. So as an example, I would go on to my personal Instagram and I would talk about like what is written on my bar necklace and what it means, because again, lots of you guys have asked that. So that's the kind of stuff I talk about over there. And without further ado, let's get soap making. We are going to begin by adding our lye water solution into our oils. My oils have all been measured out and melted down and are sitting now at room temperature, which for me, oh, it's probably about 78 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm just gonna pour the cooled lye water solution down the stick blender. I like to let my lye sit in one of these containers with the lid closed overnight, so nothing evaporates, but so it's nice and cool in the morning. And now I'm gonna blend it up on this one right here until everything has been emulsified. The mixture is now at light trace and ready to be split off into containers. So the entire soap is going to be white, and then we're gonna have some very stark mica lines in here. Now I have 5 of these containers that have all been filled to the same place. It's exactly the same amount of soap, and I'm gonna color them individually. I've got my titanium dioxide mixed with water off to the side, so I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon for now. We'll see how that looks. 1 tablespoon looks perfect to me. So now we're gonna add the fragrance oil. So I like a lot of different coconut scents, but I really like Caribbean coconut. This is from Crafter's Choice. That's sold at Wholesale Supplies Plus. It's just really good. I've added the proper amount of fragrance oil, so now we're gonna blend this up. Oh yeah, it smells so good. Great, so now it's time to pour the first layer. I'm pouring in the first layer now. We're just gonna make sure that this is evenly dispersed into the entire mold. I'll shake it a little and wiggle it around to make sure that it's all even. After I scrapey my container, of course. Gonna pick it up, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And now for the fun part. I'm gonna be doing an activated charcoal line. So here's my activated charcoal. It is from Amazon, and gonna take a few little scoops and put it in my little strainer here. And then I'm going to tap, tap, tap so it falls onto the white. And this can be quite messy and will definitely get on the sides of your molds, but that's okay. You just wipe them down. The entire surface of the soap has now been covered in activated charcoal, and you can see how dark that is, so the lines are gonna look really cool. Now what I'm gonna do is move on to the next layer, and we're just gonna keep building it up until we get to the very tippy top. Here goes layer number 2. And the bottom layer has already set up pretty good. It's not really gonna move it much for me to pour this on. Oh man, so satisfying to me. Just using my spatula here to kind of break the fall a little bit. Oh, this reminds me of like, I don't know, whenever you see on those like Earth shows by BBC and then like a big snowstorm or whatever that word is that I'm looking for.
Blizzard.
No, it's when it all falls down.
That's a snowstorm.
No, it comes down a mountain.
Avalanche.
An avalanche, yes, it's like an avalanche, like mwah, taking over the black sand beaches. Mwah. Scrapey, scrapey, my container, and then I'm gonna tap this down on the floor so it all levels out again. All right, coming back in with the strainer for layer number 2. All right, here goes layer number 3, avalanche. I always talk less when I'm doing layered soaps because I'm trying so hard to concentrate. Like, oh, don't scrape your spatula across, but also don't put too much soap in one area, but also hurry up because your soap kind of sets up quick when you're using this fragrance oil, but also make it look kind of even, but also keep talking because you're on camera. Now, I got the inspiration for this soap from the Brambleberry Seascape collection, and they had a fragrance oil in there called Pacific Pearl, and they also had pearl powder, and they added some little pretty pearl sprinkles, and that's what I'm going to be using on top of the soap today. But I'm pairing it with coconut because I really wanted to do a coconut soap recently, and I like activated charcoal lines, so I use the coconut activated charcoal. And also, yeah, like coconut and like coconut milk and it being all white and creamy and stuff. I just think coconut smell is so like delicious. It makes me feel really, I don't know, like super fancy whenever I smell coconuts. I've always associated it with being fancy because whenever I went to the grocery store with my mom as a kid, we never bought coconuts because they were so expensive because they have to be imported, and so I just assumed that only fancy people ate coconuts, and so now I just feel fancy when I smell it. Here goes layer number 4. Yes, so more on coconuts. I actually also really like the taste of them just in general. I think they're really great when they've been flaked and put on top of acai bowls. Like the crunchy kind of chewy texture of them mixed with the really smooth creamy texture of an acai bowl is just, it's a party in my mouth. I don't know when acai bowls became like all the rage, but I am so glad that they did because they are delicious. I should make an acai fruit like soap. It would be so cool. So I've been working on my house. When we bought the house, I was really excited about certain rooms, specifically the master bedroom and the guest room, because the guest room, it'll eventually be Lily's room, but right now it's too close to the soap making room. We don't want to wake her up doing her naps. But the guest room has an awesome window seat. It's so cool. So I thought it would be really fun to get to decorate that room, basically just because of the window seat, and I've always dreamed about having one since I was really little because it's so romantic and bookish to have a window seat. But then of course the master bedroom, because that's where I'm going to be spending most of my time. So I've been talking to people on Instagram, and I've been getting you guys' opinions about which ones I should decorate and how I should decorate them, and like little ideas that I have, and I've got so many ideas for so many different spots and I can't narrow them down. Final layer, you guys. Final layer here right on top. So yeah, anyways, about the house. So I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos about like finding your style and how to pick just one, because I am all over the place. I'm like boho with mid-century modern with a little bit of farmhouse. I mean, it is all over the place. So I've been watching a ton of YouTube with all this interior design stuff, which I never cared about until I got married and had a house, and now I care a whole bunch. But my favorite YouTube channels are The Weekender, which is a little special series that Lowe's has put out. Like, oh man, it's so good. It's so inspiring because they do all their projects in one weekend. And then I also love Mr. Kate. Like, that girl, man, she's fab. And I love seeing all the YouTuber spaces that she creates for very famous YouTubers. I'm gonna leave both of their channels in the little sidebar so that you guys, if you're interested in interior design and kind of like those styles, perhaps a little more trendy, a little more hip styles, I'm gonna leave them there for you guys to check out because they're so amazing. That would be two absolute like dream collabs for me. I would love for them to come over and help me with the soap studio that I'm trying to design. Maybe this should be like my public plea to either Mr. Kate or the Weekender to come help me. I'm gonna wipe down these sides now, which are a little bit dusty at this point, but I don't want them getting too much on the top of my soaps here. Look at how nice and clean it is where the tape is. Oh, that irritates me. So let's talk about things to put on top. So obviously I'm inspired by coconuts, pearls, the ocean type stuff on here. I got the activated charcoal. So what I'm gonna do to tie in that black that's in the inside of the soap, I'm gonna add some black sea salt on top. And for fun, because I think it looks super cool, I'm gonna add some red sea salt on top. And then of course I'm gonna be adding some sugar pearls from Brambleberry. And these are like the coolest sugar pearls I've ever seen because they look so realistic. They're not like a really chalky white, they're a little bit translucent, so it actually gives it like a true pearl effect. But I'm gonna begin with the two sea salts because that's gonna kind of set the base for the white pearls. I'm just gonna put it sort of down the middle of these bars. I'm not gonna overdo it. It's gonna be sort of simple. It's supposed to be sort of, you know, coastal, reminiscent of like simple beach, very clean beachy vibes. And by the way, I do expect this soap to discolor a little bit because coconut fragrances very, very, very often contain vanilla. So it's gonna go a little bit browner than I originally have it. And I've added enough titanium dioxide to kind of counteract that effect to end up being the color I want it to be. There's only gonna be a few little sprinklings on each bar. I want the showstopper to be the inside. Perfect, so now let's add the pearls. And to get them to stick really well, I'm gonna tap this down on the ground once I've put them all in, and that will make them sink a little bit. I've got some rebellious sugar pearls, I can tell you that much. You stay right there. All the sugar pearls are in now, so I'm gonna tap this mold down on the ground and then I'll bring you guys in for a close-up. And this is what it looks like up close. Very minimal, very modern, and very much inspired by the seaside. So I will be back in 18 to 24 hours to split the loaves and also cut them up into bars. After this quick commercial break, of course. Aren't these coconut loaves cool from the side? I love the way activated charcoal lines make soaps look. Instead of cutting it straight up and down as I normally would, I'm going to turn it on its side because these little pearls are totally gonna mess up the wires. So I'm just gonna turn it like this, line it up. Here's my little shorty piece on this side that will be turned into a soap sample. So I'm just gonna press down gently, gently, gently with Evangeline, my cutter from Nurture Soap. I'll remove the end pieces for the samples. And then let's pull this one right out of the middle. This is what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, we have little bumpy lines in there. They're so cool. And then on top, we have the minimal look there with the little pearls and the salt. Man, I love this bar. And I love that the lines go all the way around. And I must say, the smell is pretty darn fantastic. I really like this coconut like I said, because it's warm. It smells like really warmed up, like coconut milk that's been a little bit sweetened. And that's gonna lead right into the question of the day, which is, do you like the smell of coconut? So even if you don't like the taste of it, do you like the smell of it? To vote on the question of the day, you can click the I in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. I am obviously voting yes to the question of the day. Ooh, look, they look cool like this too. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to answer the question of the day. This soap will be available on August 6th. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is a Monday. We wanted to try out Monday. We've done Wednesday, we've done Friday. Wanted to try out Monday. I wanted to give you guys something to look forward to. I actually had a couple of messages that were like, oh, I wish you would do it on a Monday because Mondays are so like, blah, and I want something to look forward to. So now you have something to look forward to. And until Saturday, I hope you all have an absolutely royal day. We got some fun stuff coming up on Saturday. I can't wait to tell you about my little birthday plan. If you were here last July for birthday month, I did something a little special, and I might be doing a little special stuff this month. I'm not telling you anything though. You'll have to be here Saturday for the announcement. But until then, have an absolutely royal day. Do something fun for yourself today. Go out. Go hiking, go out and just look at the birds pecking around in your yard. Just do something to relax, do something for you, and I'll see you soon. So until then, bye for now.